Yo, you're in the studio with a Switch, and today I thought it would be cool to sample this really cheap bamboo flute. I grabbed it from wish.com a while back for free, just pay the shipping, so I figured why not. It's almost impossible to play as I don't have a clue, but I checked a couple of videos on YouTube and have managed to get a note out of it. We record and then tune and process the flute, and then we build a patch in VCV Rack too. I hope you find this insightful and helpful. Let's get to the video. Okay, so I've launched Ableton, and as you can see in my hands here, I have what they called a bamboo flute on wish.com, and it was free, just pay delivery. So it's cheap and cheerful. It's basically just a piece of bamboo with a couple of holes drilled into it, although I can't see through it, so I'm assuming there's some sort of blockage in there somewhere. I watched a couple of videos on how to get a note out of it because I've never played a flute in my life and I wouldn't have a clue, and I know that they're quite complicated to play if you don't know what you're doing. So I have a rough idea on how to get note of it. I also noticed that people had taped over this hole here, so I did the same thing. I don't know what I'm doing. So what I'll do is I will mute off the microphone here, and I will launch the recording Ableton, and I will just try and get a note out of it, and we'll see where we go from there. So bear with me 2 secs, and let's hit this. Here we go. So now I press record, you should be able to hear me. There might be a delay, but I'm going to hit record again here, and we'll give it a go. Perfect. Okay, so as you heard there, it took me a few attempts to get anything out of it, but we got there, and we've recorded like a note of it, which we can loop, I'm sure. So I'm gonna pop that back over there, which is where it lives. And let's now switch to Ableton, and we will, there we go. Sorry, you've probably been hearing my voice twice. So there we go. So I've recorded a note in, as you just heard. These two first ones were pretty rubbish, so I'm gonna get rid of them. We don't need them in there, and then we'll just have a quick listen to what we've got here. Nice, so I can get rid of anything after there. I can tighten this beginning point up here, so basically I can put a point in around here. That'll do us. I can set 1-1 to here, and that basically takes our clip, as you can see here, just so that it starts directly on that marker. And then we could even consolidate that so that we lose those breaths and me talking as well. So now this is the entire clip. Nice. So let's now put this into a sampler, and let's also tune it up, and we'll get it so that we can then export a note of it and we can put it into VCV Rack. So let's grab a sampler out here. Let's also grab a tuner. There you go, AshSparrow. I've created a folder and I've put some favorites in there so that I know where I'm at with it. I know you hate that I keep searching for the audio plugins each time, but there we go. So I've done it kind of for you. I'll still be going backwards and forwards. There's a load I haven't put in here, kind of on purpose as well. Anyway, so what we have now is we have the sampler open and we have the tuner open. So what I'm going to do is drag this audio straight into this sampler. And as you can see there, we've got the file, the WAV file. The volume's at 0. So let's click a key. I'm going to click C3. Okay, so it's quite clean sounding. It's quite breathy, which is quite nice. And we can see that the pitch here is C sharp. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set the root key here to C sharp. And now when I press C, our pitch is C. We can see that we're averaging on between minus 20 and 25, minus 20 and minus 25 cents. So let's bring that up on here, and we'll go to say plus 20, and that should then centralize out, which is plus 21, the pitch. There we go. So I quite like that it goes a little bit sharp and a little bit flat. But that's good. So I'm happy with that. So what we could do now is we could now bring this start point in, because we don't want all that trying to get a note at the beginning. Nice. And now let's put a loop on. So we're going to have it set loops from left to right, ping pong sort of style. So left to right, right to left, left to right, right to left. We're going to play it forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards. And let's just bring these points, the loop points in on here. I think I'm going to want to actually, bring this in a bit further. And let's also, before we do anything, let's give it a bit of crossfade. We can give it a bit more than that. Nice. So we can see in general, we're kind of around this C point. So I'm happy with that. I'm also going to click the snap point, the snap on, so that it will hopefully, there'll be no clicks at the beginning of it, but we're also just going to give it a touch of attack here because I want it to be kind of more pad-like in its volume shape, in its amplifier shape. So I'm going to go 3.5 seconds on the attack. I'm going to do the same sort of thing on the release. Nice. And with that loop, with it going backwards and forwards, it kind of gives it like a realistic, breathy kind of vibe. And with the pitch not being perfect as well, we kind of get that out of it. So let's just completely clean, with just the shape sort of adjusted. In fact, that's the next thing I need to do. So if I press the C key, you hear it? Instead of having that nice tail that would overlap, it's cutting the notes off. If I press the same key over and over again, so it's re-triggering the sample every time I press the key. So if I now turn the R off, every time I press the key, it still re-triggers the sample, but it allows the sample to play over itself. So you can play the same note twice. So let's hit a chord and let's see what happens. Let's hit another one. Really, really nice. So we've got a couple of chords there. So I think I'm peaking here. Let me just bring the volume down on the recording. Nice. So what we can do now is we can now come back to the sample here. Let's check out our mixer page and let's see where we're at volume wise. So for me, we're way too hot. So I'm going to bring down the volume here, probably like -6. In fact, let's just type that in, -6 dB. Nice, and it's almost got like a tape kind of quality to it, where it's kind of got this analog sort of pitching sort of feel to it. So that's really cool. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab a compressor. So let's grab the Ableton compressor. Let's turn off the sidechain because I'm not interested in what the sidechain is doing now. I've got nothing to sidechain it to. I just want to compress it. Let's turn the ratio to 4. That for me is quite a nice ratio. It kind of pulls the noise, grabs hold of the noise, but it isn't sort of going to crush it. Obviously, depending on how much threshold we give it. So I'm going to bring the threshold up as well. And let's see where we're at with that. So our threshold is too high there. So as you can see, we're not actually sort of getting any compression here at all. So let's bring the threshold down just so that we're sort of into the compression. There we go. And as you can see on our level now, our level is consistent. We've compressed that sound, and our level is now consistent. So what we're going to do is we're going to go -3 on the overall volume now. Nice, and that's kind of brought us back to where this kind of -12 is on here. I do want to bring us up to sort of -6. So on the output of the compressor, I'm going to go +6, and that's now going to bring us up in theory to about -6 on the overall level. Brilliant. Let's try it quite low and see how it sounds. Let's go down another octave. That's nice. And it's not like a flashy sci-fi pad or anything. It's just got like a really nice tonality to it. So let's record like a long note of that so that we've got that. So what we'll do, the first thing we'll do is we'll mute off this audio 1 channel, and with this we'll just grab like 30 seconds, say. So I'm just looking at the timing at the bottom now, and we're going to insert an empty MIDI clip, and then we're going to go C3, and we're just going to drag that out. So there we go. I'm going to right click, I'm going to go crop, not time selection, just crop. And now we've got that solid clip. I'm going to turn off the, so the loop is already turned off, which is good. And we're now just going to export this. We're going to resample this, sorry. So what I'm going to do is I've got this channel here free. So I'm going to hit the resampling here. I'm going to hit record, and then I'm going to record this in. What I'll do is I'll pause you because you don't want to sit there for 30 seconds, and I will bring you back once it's done. Okay, so as you can see there, I've recorded 30 seconds of that raw note in. So we've got now a C of the bamboo flute, like a long note of it, which is tuned. So we can now come back to the, we can turn the record off here and the channel off. We can come back to the audio here, the sample, and we can now look at maybe adding an effect onto this so that we've now got a clean version and then like a processed version. So what we'll do now is we'll grab the Valhalla Supermassive, just to add like some space around this, you know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to Valhalla. I'm going to grab the Valhalla Supermassive, and then we're going to hit the icon there. You can see all the dials there, which is good. So I'm just going to click on my Leon default preset, which basically looks like this. I'm also going to take up the low slightly. There we go, to about 150. And now we've got this. Wow. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. All from that cheap flute. Brilliant. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do exactly the same as I just did with the last one. I'm going to record 30 seconds, or it'll be longer now because we've got the tail on it from Valhalla. But I'm just going to record a single note of that, and then we're ready to basically come across into VCV Rack to mess around. So I'm going to pause you there. I'll record that in, and then I'll bring you back. Okay, so I did exactly that. I recorded a really long note of that in, which I can play you now here. And we've got this version, which is the Valhalla Supermassive version, and then we've got this version, which is the dry, completely clean. And you can hear that the space around the notes is completely different. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to pause you, and I'm going to export these two. And then we will open up VCV Rack, and I'll bring you back once we're there. Okay, so as you can see, I've launched VCV Rack, and I've got my default, very basic kind of setup going on. I've got a clock, I've got a mixer with send effects and sends and returns here. I've got a reverb and a delay on the send effects for there, and then I've got my output, which is what you'll be hearing and what I'm hearing through the speakers or through the headphones. So yeah, so there we are. And I've also, I exported from Ableton the Bamboo Flutes dry, the ones that we recorded, and the wet version as well as the original. So you've got all three to have a play with when you get the samples. So the first thing I figured we'd do is we can now just kind of place it in over the keyboard. Just for the second. We can lose this in a second. So what we'll do is we'll just place this here. I'll specify my output for the keyboard. So I've now got pitch information and gate information and modulation information coming from the keyboard into VCV Rack. So the next thing we'll do is we'll grab the Sicko sampler, which is a brilliant little sampler. It's got a voltage control, a voltage per octave input, which we'll take from the keyboard. It's stereo. We've got gate information here that we'll put into the playhead here, and we'll have it so that it's gated. And that way then when I press a key, you can see it's going to start playing. When I let go, it will stop playing. Super cool. So what we'll do now is we'll take the audio outputs from here. Sorry, let me just move you up a touch here. There we go. You can see where we're at then. Sorry, so there's a voltage per octave input. Where are we? There we go. just so that it looks a bit prettier for you guys on the screen. That's what I will do, is I'll grab these two and let's move these along so that if I move the screen about, then you can still see these. There you go. Sweet. Okay, so what we'll do is we will grab the right output and we'll go into the mixer on the right hand side there. And what we'll do is we'll gain that down a touch there for the second, and then we'll load in one of the samples. So let's grab the drive version of the Bamboo Flute for the second, and let's tap a couple of keys and see what happens. So it kind of plays legato, so I can play one note, and then I can play another note that touches it, and it continues playing across the sample, which is super cool and probably more realistic for a flute. But we don't have any release on any of these, so what we're going to do is we're going to put some release on the sample. So we've got a little bit of tail there. Let's make it about 2 seconds or something. That'll be better. And that way then I'm going to let go. It's going to keep playing for a minute. And the next thing I want to do is I want to make it so that it's polyphonic. So I can play a couple of chords if I want to, a couple of notes at the same time. So let's go eight notes on there. So I'm able to play 8 notes now across the keyboard. And the pitch information translates across into the sampler. Super cool. So we also have the modulation wheel, which we can assign up as well. So what we'll do is we'll grab a filter and we'll put this after this unit here. So we'll take the outputs from the filter then to the desk, and we'll go from here, not with a yellow cable, but with a red cable. We'll go into the left and right input of the filter. And that way now we now have control over the filter. And at the minute it's not very nice, so let's lose the resonance on that. Nice. So what I now want to do is grab the modulation wheel, and we'll have that so that it's controlling this frequency here. So I'm going to turn this all the way down. I'm going to turn the mod on there, and I'm going to turn that all the way up. And that way now we have control over the modulation wheel totally. So we can go all the way from 0 all the way up. All good. So we now have control over that as well. Bear me 2 seconds. So we're set up with the modulation wheel and the keyboard. Nice. So what we can do now is we can now add some effects on. So let's grab the reverb and let's grab the delay. And let's play a couple of chords again. So the modulation wheel is all the way up for the moment. So what I'm going to do is bring that sort of just below, so we don't get like the top end in. We're a little bit more closed off. Yeah, that's really, really nice. So what we can do is we can gain this up a touch here because the level's quite low. Really nice. Yeah, that's lovely. So what I might do is let's grab the complex simpler. I really like this one as well. This is brilliant for just loops and stuff like that. And let's grab an output or an input from the main out on our mixer here. We'll go into the record ins on this unit here, and I think that what we'll do is we'll literally just play a couple of little notes. We'll play exactly what I played then. I just want to find that last chord for the second time round. Okay, so I really like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit record and I'm just going to play that in. I'm not thinking about tempo or anything. I'm literally just going to do it. So let's go. Record here. There we go. So now let's get this so that it's plumbed in and we can sort out our start point and end point roughly. Okay, so let's zoom into here a little bit. And we can see now at the beginning here, we can see our start point, so let's bring that in. Going to cycle. I think our end point wants to come in a touch. Nice. Turn the anti-click on a little bit. Really nice. So let's give that some reverb. Put the level on it a little bit. So that endpoint needs to come in a touch. Still then got our first noise that we can play with still. Nice. I'm going to turn this down. Probably going to be about 70 maybe. Okay, we'll try that. So let's try taking our start point in on this one here. And let's see what happens. Let's try quite low on the octaves. So let's have a look at this envelope shape here. let's try. Let's grab another one of these units here, I think. In fact, no, let's try just sequencing this to see what happens with regards to the tempo and stuff. So I've got a sequencer 3, a sec 3. I'm going to grab the first clock here from the clocked one into the clock on the sequencer, so we're now running in time with this clock. I don't know how this is going to work, but we'll now just drag these. We'll take the CV information from 1. We'll take the gate information from... We won't do that. Sorry, let's put these back in here for a second. I need a little bit more of a setup than that. So let's move these along. Let's grab a VCA. Let's grab a quantizer. Let's grab pitch information from the sequencer to the VCA, from the VCA to the quantizer. Let's grab pitch information from the quantizer to the Sicko sampler. And we now need to get this gate. So let's grab the gate. I've put that in the wrong one now. Pitch information from there. Gate information from there. So hopefully, polygate mode. A little difference that makes, if any. And now let's randomize this. I have to put inputs and notes for anything to work, but luckily it didn't, because that would have been a bit crazy. So let's go F. Quite like that. Okay, let's grab like chances. And let's sort of put this in between this clock and the clock here, and let's turn it to the right so we get less chance of things happening. And that should, in theory, so we get that kind of that randomness with the sequencer. So let's grab another one of these. Let's go duplicate. Let's go with cables. So we've now got the input from the output of the mixer. Let's mute off this. So we've only got now this playing. So we've still got our mod wheel attached. Oh, sorry. There we go. Record some of this. Nice. That'll do us. Now let's mute that one. Bring this one back, and now let's wire this one up. Okay, so I'm going to cut off some of this end here. So that's all the way out there, and let's just bring that back. That's lovely. Let's try playing this in reverse. Let's put some effects on this. Let's go delay. Okay, so let's grab, sorry, I didn't mean to go there, let's grab the MIDI to CV, I don't know how that ended up there, that must be me messing around. Let's grab the voltage per octave from there, let's go gate information from here again. This is now our channel 1 again, our keyboard. Now let's switch the sampler, so let's go right click. Load sample, and let's grab the wet version this time. Let's see if that's any different to play with. This for a second. Let's try giving this a little bit of drive. Okay, this is where I've gone wrong here. So it didn't seem quite right. But let's lose this from here. Let's go from here. I don't even want to go from there. Sorry. Here we go. I want to go straight from the keyboard into the sampler. I was like, what is going on? There we go. I've now got a proper pitch across my keys. But that is like super, super low. Got a control CV for the voltage as well. So let's take modulation details, the information, sorry, from the velocity input. And if I play softly, there we go. Nice. So I now have velocity to volume. Okay, so we are really, really loud here. So I could possibly go like, because I want to reduce down the amount. Here we go, let's lose that. So I'm going to use this VCA as like another control for our velocity. So now I should have less. It should be less sensitive. Nice. Really nice. Nice. So now let's hear that with the rest of these. Yeah, that's really nice. Okay, so let's record something like that and let's see what happens with that. Let's go right click, let's go complex. And now let's go the inputs from here. Let's mute these again. That's nice. So let's record that and we'll just leave some space in between. We'll add a few more notes in and stuff like that. I've also got the mod wheel here. Record in. Nice. Okay, so let's try that. See how that sounds. Okay, and the first thing I want to try is let's go reverse. completely different. Okay, so one last thing to try. Let's go Nimbus. In fact, no, let's go Clouds. This thing is lovely. So let's take a copy of the output, sorry, here into the texture synthesizer. Let's turn the dry wet all the way up. Let's grab the next channel on here, and let's solo this for a second. And this one. Let's turn our gain up, our input position back. Now let's start adding some density. And let's change the texture. Let's turn the stereo spread right up pretty much. Let's take the feedback amount up. Okay, and let's go to the next mode. Let's add the reverb amount and that up. Really, really cool. So let's hear these two together. And maybe let's try this. I don't know what button it is that I keep hitting that's muting the microphone. I'm sorry about that. Possibly turn up the stereo width on here, and maybe the high pass. there you go. Really nice, really nice. Just the Bamboo Flute from wish.com. So I think it was free, paid a postage. So anyway, on that note, I hope that has been insightful and helpful. Sorry if my voice went a couple of times during that video. I hope they weren't for too long. Really nice and a bit different. Anyway, I hope that's been insightful and helpful. And I will catch you